Zadon Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. As many of you know, The Promised Neverland Season 2 is a dumpster fire. Almost everyone agrees that the season failed on so many levels. Whether you're an anime only or a manga reader, you're probably all in agreement that the season sucked. I mean, I haven't even finished it, and I've already given it a 1. And the reason I'm probably never going to finish it is because it is so bad and gets rid of some of the most important arcs and story beats of the manga. And this though, the manga of Promised Neverland, this is the story of Emma. This is the story of Norman and Ray. This is the story of Mujika and Sanju. This is the story of the Goldie Pond crew. This is the story of the Lambda crew. This is the story of Promised Neverland. And this is a fantastic way for the series to come to its close. Now, as of right now, the actual manga has not come to a conclusion. There's still one more volume left to come, and, well, I got this early. So, if you're wondering, wait, how did a video about Promised Neverland in America come out the day that it released? And not only that, but early in the morning when it released? Well, that's your answer. Luckily, my Barnes & Noble happened to be lucky / idiotic. I'm not certain what the proper term is. But they actually happened to have this one volume of Volume 19 early. And as such, I was able to read it in time for this review. And honestly, I can't explain enough how much I love this volume. Honestly, it could end here and I would be happy. If I knew that Volume 20 wasn't a thing, then I would say this would be a fantastic way to end it. Obviously, making some slight adjustments at the end, because the last scene does kind of set up the fact that there is going to be that final battle. But honestly, if they just removed the last 2 pages, just these 2 pages, instantly, the story is over, and I would have been happy. Just maybe fill this entire page with this one panel where Emma is staring down Vitari and I mean, obviously there's still some things left to be cleared up with, like, what was the promise? What exactly is going to be happening between everything? How are the kids going to all is every single kid that has ever existed, are they now going to move over to the human world, or are they going to work with the demons to get them back on their feet to make sure that they're ready to continue their life and start actually farming normal animals now, animals that both sides agree are food, and with that grow to have peace between the 2 races? It honestly would be so interesting to see that happen, and to see the 2 groups as they grow together to become a new society, a society of both demons and humans working together. Now, obviously, I don't think that that's actually what happens. A lot of people I've heard complained a lot about how the ending of the manga was. Of course, like I said, I have not read anything past this volume. And the only way that I'm going to, if unless I get the volume, until I get the volume, is if I were to get another brief subscription to Viz for a little bit, and then read those chapters. But I don't want to do that. I want to actually read them from the book. I'm weird, in case you haven't noticed. But the story that they have told through these characters has honestly been one of the best ones that I've seen in a long time. And just this entire volume is dedicated to the battle to get Gracefield back, with obviously some of it still remaining to be in the last volume. But it's not much left for the remaining volume. It's basically wrap up next volume. While this story concludes, this is the story's true conclusion. And I think that that's important. And it also clears up a lot of things. I kind of, even before we knew that Isabella was still alive because of the anime, which, yeah, that is another thing that I really hate about the anime, is the fact that they reveal that she's still alive way too early. Like, keep in mind, they didn't say anything in the manga until until this volume. Yeah. There was no hint whatsoever, except for just the brief factor that everyone up till this point, they actually showed die. And that was an interesting factor. I kind of had a feeling that if she was actually dead, they would show that she died. Even if the kids thought she was dead, even if the kids didn't know for a fact if she was dead, they would have shown the audience that she was dead, that she was punished for what she had done, for the fact that she let all these kids get away, but they didn't. So from that moment, I had a feeling she's gonna still be involved in the future. And based off of the fact that, well, we see her memories at the end of that section, where we get to see how Isabella lived her life and how she actually was regretful of a lot of things, and how she didn't really want to be a mom. She wanted to just be able to live. And that whole factor made her turning to assist Emma and the rest just, it wasn't a shock. And I mean, sure, even if you didn't know what was going on because of the anime, you didn't watch the anime, you didn't watch anyone's reviews of it or anything, then you would still not be surprised at all to see that she is completely on their side. And that was so interesting to see. But the other factor is that everyone works together in this whole battle. Everyone is working side by side. The Lambda kids, the Goldie Pond kids, the Emma's group. I mean, sure, a lot of the kids from Gracefield don't have much of a role to play, but again, remember, these are children. Actual children who have barely been doing anything for a while. They're not as much of warriors as the rest of the team. But even still, each of them are still able to stand up. On top of the fact that they put these little subtle hints throughout the entire time, knowing that everything's gonna be okay. And I love this. Like I said, Promised Neverland is an amazing story, and it gets me excited to see how this will actually end. And knowing the fact now that basically everything that was going on in the capital, which I was a little bit worried about when Mujika and Sanju were arrested, but now seeing them being okay, it just gives me that much more hope. Because, sure, I don't necessarily trust Sanju, but with Mujika, I have this constant feeling that everything is going to be okay. Since she and Emma have formed this close bond, it means that the two will more than likely work together for many years to come, building up both societies to bring them to a point where they can finally make peace between their two worlds. To stand together as one society working together. And honestly, I think Mujika would be a great leader for the demons. I mean, she has saved so many people, and on top of that, there's just a lot more, and I could go over that for ages to come, but that would take tons and tons of episodes, and we don't really have time for that. But at the same time, I honestly do believe that Promised Neverland has been one of the greatest stories that I have read. And it's soon to be one of my next series that will be concluded. In fact, I believe that there is only... Actually, no, I'm wrong. This is the second series that I will have completely finished the manga. I mean, sure, there's others, but at the same time that have finished, like Demon Slayer or others. We're not going to get into that. But this is the first one that has concluded, and that I am truly happy to see its ending. The reason I say it's the second is because of the fact that there's also Wolf Children that I've read, but Wolf Children doesn't really count because it's a book. It's a single book. So, yeah. Now, as for the question that probably many of you guys are asking, is Promised Neverland worth it to read through the entire series? Absolutely. And if you're worried about the horror aspects of it, honestly, here's the facts. Only the first season really has that scary factor of it. And as for the anime, well, we can just take season 2 and just into the trash it goes. But I think that before too long, they're going to understand, the creators of the anime are going to realize, you know what, let's redo this. Let's remake this story, because we know that fans would love to see the story retold via the actual story of the manga. And I think that, honestly, after what has just happened with Promised Neverland's anime adaptation, that they're going to realize, you know what, let's move over. Let's pick up these manga and let's completely animate them into a new series that is a one-for-one recreation of the original. And while I will say right now that I would prefer if Season 1 stays the way it is, I don't think it needs to. If they were to completely redo the entire series as a one-for-one recreation, with every single detail still in there, with just the added bonus of better movement and stuff because of the fact that it's an anime, I think that a lot of fans would absolutely love it. On top of the fact that anime-onlys who watch the second season have no idea who half the people are that are in this show. Like, seriously. The anime does not develop characters as much as they should have, and never did anything with whatever his name is, which, seriously, that's the problem with this whole series. Not the fact that there's any issues, but because the fact that doesn't actually have a name. And I'm doing it like that because of the fact that there's literally no proper way to do this. It's always spelled using the demon spelling, and we have no idea how it's pronounced, which I know it adds a sense of mystery to the series, but at the same time, it's just like, everyone knows how to say it. Like, Emma, Norman, and Ray all say the name at some point during the series. So, it's not like it's impossible for us to say, it's just, we don't know how. So, actually give him a name and have it be something really interesting. I think that a lot of people would absolutely love to see that become a full-fledged anime. But until then, I'm considering Promised Neverland to be a manga with no anime adaptation, because Season 2 is literal trash. So, anyways, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and ring that notification bell. And even if you're not new, but you just haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and ring the notification bell, because it really does help us out a lot more than you may think. And of course, if you guys have any thoughts or theories, please make sure to leave them down in the comments below. If you are going to leave a theory, make sure to say theory review somewhere in your comment. And of course, if you do want to support the channel even more, then definitely head down to the description and check out all of our links down there, including our social medias, our other channels, and ways that you can support us financially, including the merch store, the Patreon, and the book. And a big thank you to our current patron, Sheeny. But anyways, guys, I've been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But on!